So I start off by sketching a rough, just basically stick figure of like some sort of pose that I want. And there you can see it there. It's a little hard to see on this camera. I kind of broke my camera, so I just have it taped to my computer desk. Anyways, after I drew the stick figure part, I'm starting with the face, and I usually do the eyes first. Then I'm just quickly doing like the shoulder area and starting to put some of his clothes together, just so I know where things go. Kind of adding a little bit of detail, but not too much. And I'm gonna try to zoom in whenever I can to try to get a little bit closer look, but my camera does not focus very well when it's zoomed in. Now I'm working on his bandana and his hair, and the bandana goes a little bit farther than his face because his dreads and his hair are thick. And when you draw, I'm drawing with a light pencil. That's one reason why it's hard, because I know I'm going to have to erase some of it. And just like where the couple things cross each other, I don't worry about it. I just draw over what I already, like his jawline. I just drew the hair right over it, because I know I'm going to erase that jawline that goes through, and I just scribbled like a little circle where I knew where his ear was, even though you're not going to be able to see it. And then right here, he has two little belts, and they're on top of this red sash thing. But I wanted to get his sword in there first. Right here is really important because I wanted him to have like a hand being held up, but I didn't want it to be just like a fist or hidden or something. If you need to practice drawing hands, what I like to do is I take a picture of my hand in a weird pose, or I look at other people's hands from like magazines or movie covers or something like that, because it really helps you if you draw a real human hand in different poses. You'll be much better at drawing anime characters' hands. Sketching his facial hair which is kind of weird because a lot of anime characters don't have facial hair, and when they do, it's nothing like Jack Sparrow's. So I'm gonna start inking. I'm using a Prismacolor fine tip inking pen, and this one's a number 3, which is kind of a medium thickness. I usually do kind of a thinner one, but I'll end up going over it with a thicker one, or I do like a number 3 or number 5 to do the character, and then I'll go over the outline with like a number 8. You should be able to see the details a lot better once I go over it with this pen. The pencil I was using was one of the hardest leads, because you can just draw really light with hard lead, and it helps when you need to erase all this stuff. Because I know a lot of artists just have a lot of scribble lines and guidelines, which are perfectly fine to use. So now I'm just going over his clothes, and he's got a lot of wrinkles, and wrinkles are very important in not only realistic, but in anime, you don't want to go overboard. Even if something has a ton of wrinkles, you want to make sure you don't go overboard or it'll look wrong, even if it's totally real. But you still need enough to make it look like it's clothes. So you gotta try to find the balance of wrinkles, and There's no real way to tell someone exactly how. You just have to keep practicing. And right here where the cuffs are, there's little smaller wrinkles that go right under it. He has something on his hand. It's dark, but I don't think it's a glove. I just know I've seen it in the movies, so it's just like this something wrapped around his hand. It almost looks like a glove, but it's not. And he's got these buttons on his vest that are kind of oval shaped instead of circles. And his belts are always kind of flopping around, so you could draw him kind of different. He's got like these rags or cloths that are tucked under his belt and hang over his belt. And they just kind of hang and flop all over. If you've seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, you know what I'm talking about. Or just look at any picture online. They're just these rags. I don't know how else to describe them. They're just hanging off his belts. And they're all kind of weird colored too. So, and I'm just adding a couple wrinkles, and I'm going to try something a little different. Right here, he's got kind of like makeup under his eyes and mascara on, so I'm making his eyes darker, and I'm putting like kind of little triangles under his eyes to make it look like he has makeup. And I'm filling in his facial hair, and he's got a couple beads on him on his goatee part. And I'm just going to fill in anything that's totally black, because I'm going to color this. I'm going to start with the black. I usually do. I've noticed that he has this white thing in his hair, and I'm going to leave it white right there. Almost looks like part of a feather. So I'm just filling in the black, and I'm noticing my camera keeps shaking. It's just taped to the desk. It's kind of this desk that hangs over my computer a little bit. It's just taped to it, pointing down. And I don't know, it's just any movement I make, even just moving my foot on the ground, shakes it a little bit. So it's getting really annoying. I can tell it's getting annoying to watch it, because I'm getting annoyed just drawing, trying to record like this. Oh, but this is just coloring him, and I don't think anyone needs tips on coloring, really. I'm just using colored pencils, nothing fancy. I'm just going to show you some progressive shots of just me coloring it, and that's the final one I put on my scanner. I kind of made him a little bit yellowed the white shirt to make it look a little dirty, and then that's it. It's Jack Sparrow.